Once upon a snowy New Year's Eve, in a charming little town in Vermont, there lived an 8-year-old girl named Lily. Lily had golden hair that shimmered like sunlight on fresh snow, bright blue eyes, and a pair of red-framed glasses that perched on her small nose. Her favorite outfit was a flowy dress covered in colorful flowers that reminded her of spring, even in the heart of winter. Lily's family had a tradition. Every New Year's Eve, they would write down their hopes and dreams for the coming year and place them in a special jar they called the Dream Catcher jar. This year, Lily had a big dream. She wanted to help someone in need, though she didn't quite know how. That afternoon, as snowflakes danced outside her window, Lily sat in her cozy living room sipping hot cocoa. Her dog Max, a fluffy golden retriever, lay curled at her feet. Suddenly, there was a knock at the door. Lily ran to open it and found an elderly man with a long white beard and twinkling eyes standing on the porch. He was bundled up in a thick coat and a red scarf wrapped around his neck. "Hello there," the man said, his voice warm and friendly. "I'm Mr. Henry, your new neighbor. I just moved into the cottage down the lane." Lily's mother appeared behind her and invited Mr. Henry inside. They shared stories and laughter over cookies and tea. Lily noticed that Mr. Henry's eyes sometimes looked a little sad when he talked about his late wife and how much he missed her. Later that evening, as Lily sat by the fireplace, she had an idea. She would make this New Year special for Mr. Henry. She wrote her plan on a piece of paper and tucked it into the dream catcher jar. The next morning, Lily sprang into action. With her parents' help, she baked a batch of gingerbread cookies and wrote a cheerful note that read, "Welcome to the neighborhood. Wishing you a happy new year, Lily." She placed everything in a basket, along with a small potted plant she had painted herself. When she delivered the basket to Mr. Henry, his face lit up with surprise and gratitude. "Why, thank you, Lily. This is the kindest gesture I've received in a long time," he said, his voice a little shaky with emotion. In the days that followed, Lily and Mr. Henry became fast friends. He taught her how to carve wooden animals and shared fascinating stories about his adventures as a sailor. Lily loved hearing about the stars he had navigated by and the far-off lands he had visited. Mr. Henry, in turn, enjoyed Lily's curiosity and her cheerful company, which filled his days with new purpose. One snowy afternoon, they built a birdhouse together, painting it bright red and yellow. Lily's laughter echoed through the chilly air as Max tried to help by wagging his tail and scattering sawdust everywhere. Mr. Henry told her about the birds he'd seen on his travels, and they decided to hang the birdhouse in a tree near his cottage. When New Year's Eve arrived, Lily invited Mr. Henry to join her family for their dream catcher jar tradition. Her parents had set the table with festive candles, and the living room was adorned with twinkling lights and pine garlands. After dinner, they gathered around the jar. Mr. Henry smiled warmly as he wrote down his dream to find joy and companionship in this new chapter of life. Lily wrote hers too, to keep spreading kindness and making new friends. As the clock struck midnight, the room filled with cheers, hugs, and the sound of clinking glasses. Outside, fireworks lit up the starry sky, their colors reflecting on the snow-covered ground. Lily felt a sense of happiness she had never known before. She realized that helping Mr. Henry had brought as much joy to her as it had to him. The next morning, Lily and Mr. Henry stood by the birdhouse they had built together, now covered in a soft layer of snow. A small sparrow had already found its way inside, chirping happily. Lily clapped her hands with delight, and Mr. Henry chuckled. "Looks like we've made another friend, Lily," he said. From that day on, Lily understood the true magic of the new year. It wasn't just about making wishes, but about making a difference in someone's life. And so, in the little town blanketed in snow, a golden-haired girl, an elderly sailor, and a little sparrow began a new year full of friendship, warmth, and dreams that truly came true. The end.